welcome to another episode of the Game of Life podcast. I'm very excited to be joined by a musical theatre superstar, probably the best musical theatre superstar that's ever lived or ever will live.
Oh, please.
Hayden Baum, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for
Thank you
being
so
here.
much for having me.
I've really been looking forward to this one for a very long time because this has been well over a year into the making, right? So I think you were here for Chicago. You listened to the Morgan Palmer episode, and you actually DM'd me and said you'd love to be on the podcast. So
Yeah.
now we're here over about a year and a half later.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I guess what was it about that Morgan Palmer episode that spoke to you so much for you to sort of reach out and say, you know what, I love the podcast, I want to be on.
Well, Morgan and I went to uni together. So he was the year above me.
Mhm.
And just to know that a mate of mine is out there going through the same things that I'm going through in the industry, it's just great to hear. And so many of our mates have been through this podcast as well.
Yes.
So it's just nice to hear their stories. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's something I like to hear as well from people, that it does help people sort of, I guess it brings people a level of comfort to know that, oh, their stories aren't too dissimilar to what
Completely.
I've been through as
Yeah.
well. And you listen to the podcast
Yeah.
frequently, don't you?
Yeah. We were saying before, I'm a long time listener, first time caller.
Yeah.
But even recently,
Mm.
like you had a chat with Patty Whitbread
I
and
did, yeah.
Sam Parks, and
Mhm.
just like I'll be listening to the podcast while I'm at the gym getting ready for a show
Great.
because the schedule of a musical is really, really grueling.
Mhm.
And to know that again, your mates are what they use to
Mm.
get through their weeks or their auditions or everything, it's a really great tool to have. So thank you.
No, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Appreciate it. This is also the second recording I'm doing out of 5 today, by the way, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be pretty full on.
Big day for
Yes,
you.
yes, welcome to my world. So let's talk about the Hayden Baum, origin story.
Yeah.
Like, what drew you to become a performer?
Well, I think that it was so I'm from Canberra
Mhm. Oh,
and
really?
yeah,
Whereabouts in Canberra?
Belconnen, so
Oh,
like the north
okay. I
side.
used to frequent Belconnen quite a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
But it was just that kind of like uh I don't want to call it a country town, but it was like small country town vibes, so big
Yeah.
dreams and
Mhm.
everything. And um my family are also from out in Parks. So again, another even smaller country town. But uh, my grandparents always like connected with musicals, so they were in the Music and Dramatic Society, and whenever we would go out there, I would watch MGM musicals with my nana and
Mhm.
things like that, and then encouraged to sing and perform. So
What were the go-to movies?
Sound of Music for
Yeah.
sure, My Fair Lady, which is just coming back.
Yes.
Yeah, so those ones were really fantastic,
Yeah.
but just kind of always watching those movies and singing those songs and being encouraged um, to be artistic in
Mhm.
that way. Um, I think that's where it kind of all started, really.
So so how old were you then, did you say?
I mean, from probably about the age of 3 or 4,
Oh,
like,
okay. Nice.
getting The Wizard of Oz on videotape
Mhm.
for your birthday and imagining that you're all of the characters and
Yeah.
playing all the parts and, putting on shows in front of your
Mhm.
family. Like,
Mhm.
that's kind of where it
Yeah.
started, I guess.
Did you know how you were going to go about accomplishing those dreams? Like, when did you first articulate what it actually was that you wanted to do, I suppose?
I think I've been kind of lucky because people have always steered me in the right
Mhm.
direction, I guess. So with that encouragement, they go, "Oh, he should do this, or you should go and try this." And within that, whether it was watching those movies or singing those songs or going to dance class or playing piano, my grandma was a pianist, my mum was a pianist. Um, I was then in piano lessons and then kind of went, "Oh, I like the music, but
Mm.
I'm playing by ear. I'm not really
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
sight reading or anything." Uh, I kind of was able to go, "Oh, maybe I wanna dance more or maybe I wanna sing more." So
Mhm.
I think I pitched it to my mum at like 10 years old. I said, "You know that I can take 3 dance classes for the price of 1 piano lesson?" And I
Mhm.
think that's the story she likes to tell.
Yeah. Have you ever gone back to piano?
Um, I had to do piano skills at um, WAAPA, but
Oh, yeah, right.
um, yeah, not really. Like,
Singer and dancer, but not a musician?
oh,
Yeah.
probably not as instrumentally
Yeah,
inclined.
yeah, right. Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you went to WAAPA.
yeah.
Was that your first choice, WAAPA?
WAAPA was my
Yeah.
first choice,
Yeah.
but I had actually done part-time and full-time dancing
Mm.
in Canberra at the Dance Development Centre. So while I was in school, I would go to school from 8:30 to 1,
Mm.
and then I would go to dancing from 2 till 9 pretty
Yeah.
much every day. And I would do ballet for 2
Mhm.
hours, into a jazz class, into
Mhm.
a tap class, into a so all of these classes. So was going really strongly into the dance route. And it looked like I was going to go down a ballet path, really, a classical path, which is again what Morgan Palmer said he did
Mhm.
as well. Um, and it looked like it was going to head there. I got into a school in New York, and
Oh, you did?
yeah,
Really?
and
Yeah.
but I just went, no, I want to go and do music theater at
Mm.
WAPA because musicals were what I always wanted to do. And you study the programs when you go and see shows, and everyone's been to WAPA, NIDA, VCA. I think it was BAPA back then, but it's Fed Uni now, and yeah.
I grew up in Yass,
Hmm.
actually, and I would, of course, frequent Canberra quite a lot because Yass was, I think, only an hour away or whatever.
Yeah.
But how much smaller does the world look when you look back at your time in Canberra? Because I'm now just thinking about this now, like having been in Canberra and lived, that country lifestyle as well. The world seems so much smaller back then versus what
Yeah.
it is for you now.
Yeah. I think it's whenever I go back
Mm.
now,
Mm.
um, I think that because I actually closed Chicago tour in Canberra,
Yeah.
and it was in September, and I just turned 30, and it was in the theater where I used to do my dance concerts. So those full-time dance concerts were
At
in
that
that
Canberra
Canberra theater.
theatre, yeah.
And it holds such a special place
Mm.
for me because it was where I started,
It's
but I
where it
went,
all began, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I also went, "Oh, I've done my time here, and there is kind of more out there for me."
Mm.
So, because all my mates from high school
Yeah.
are, you know, getting married and having kids and, creating this other type of life there, but mine's just a different path.
Yeah. It's funny, like, not a lot of musicals go to the Canberra Theatre
Yeah.
as well, so the fact that Chicago went there,
Yeah.
was that the first time you performed at the Canberra Theatre since leaving Canberra as well?
I actually did a regional tour of the Gruffalo,
Right.
which went back there, which
Mhm.
was again another kind of like full circle moment. I
Yeah.
think it was one of my first jobs. I think I'd done Cats already, and then yeah, was back and doing Gruffalo after Crybaby,
Mm.
and that was that, and then coming back and doing a full 2 hour musical there. That was a
Yeah.
pinch me moment.
Full on, yeah.
Yeah, full circle.
We'll get to Chicago, a bit more a bit later on in the
Hmm.
podcast, but, so you go to WAPA. Do you feel like you were ready when you stepped into WAPA for the first day? Or did those dance classes prepare you for your experience in WAPA?
Yeah, so when I actually didn't get into music theater straight away.
Mhm.
So I went across and I did the ballet course for a year.
Mhm.
So I got my diploma in dance. Um, I had auditioned for music theater, made it to finals, but didn't quite make it that year. And
How did you feel about it then?
I was
Like, yeah,
devastated. I was
yeah.
devastated, but I knew that I had an opportunity to go to the uni I wanted to go
Mm.
to. And I was encouraged by the music theater department to, take the year, get my singing up even more, get a teacher, use WAPA for what it was as well, and then audition again and see if I got in. And luckily, it worked out.
Great. So I mean, of course, like, okay, you become a dancer and,
Hmm.
you go into like the musical theater route. How long did it take you to develop that, I guess, the voice, the singing voice?
Mm.
Because it wasn't really something that you were striving for initially, right?
Well, I actually, I kind of started with acting,
Mhm.
um, probably around year three, I
Yeah.
guess. Um, and then went into singing. I sang in front of my whole school in year four.
Oh,
So,
okay, there you
yeah,
go.
so singing
Yeah.
has kind of been And I think that stemmed again
Yeah.
from my grandparents. Like my grandpa was a
Mm.
tenor with the Parks
Mhm.
Music and Dramatic
Mhm.
Society, and so singing has kind of always been a big thing. Um, but by the time it got to, so that was acting in year three,
Yeah.
singing in year four, and then
Okay, so singing has been there, of
yeah,
course, with
singing
the
has
yeah.
been a
Yeah.
kind of big part. But dancing only started in about year five.
Mhm.
So then it kind of went on the back burner, and then dance kind of took
So it
over.
came back, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But singing and getting that up to scratch throughout that year of music theatre was
Yeah.
really essential. So I've got Dr. Aaron Hales to thank for that, who was my singing teacher at WAAPA and was also Morgan Palmer's teacher. Gosh, we're
Really?
going to get a lot of Morgan Palmer today.
There you go. So, I mean, when did you meet Morgan Palmer?
I met Morgan when
Presumably,
I was
yeah.
in ballet, so we were
Yeah.
in first year at the
Yeah.
same time,
Great.
and then he was in second year music
Mm.
theatre when I started first year
Mm.
MT.
Um, who are those people that sort of, inspired you to do better at WAPA? I mean, you just mentioned someone there, but,
Yeah.
like, who are the others that sort of inspired you along the way?
I mean, in music theatre, there were people like Patty Whitbread was my
Mhm.
usher
Oh,
at my
nice.
music theatre audition, my first audition. Clay Roberts,
Mhm.
who is in Pretty Woman at the
Mm.
moment, he was in third year. So Stephen Madsen, like all of these people that I really looked up to, and I don't know if they know how much of an impact they had, but they did.
And
So
you've got to work with in different
yeah,
capacities.
yeah, and to be able to call them not only colleagues, but
Mm.
to call them mates
Very
now as
cool.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. When those people that, inspire you along the way see you perform professionally
Mm.
in a theater, how does that feel?
I mean, it's really
Yeah.
special. It's really, really special. And you might do a job with someone when you're straight out of uni, and then a few years later they see you
Yeah.
play a role or do something, and
Mhm.
it's just this constant. You may not hear it all the time, but the support is always there.
Mm.
So yeah,
So Cats was your first show.
yeah.
Was it also your first audition for Cats? Or did you have auditions
For
before that?
cats
Yeah.
or more auditions
Yeah.
for other
Yeah,
shows.
did you have auditions for other shows before
Yeah.
you got
So
Cats?
as
Yeah.
we were graduating from uni, I think my first audition was My Fair Lady.
Mm.
So the revival that's coming back.
Right.
It's been 10 years since I graduated
Yeah.
this year. So My Fair Lady was the
Mm.
first one that I auditioned for. And I think I auditioned for The Bodyguard as
Right.
well. Um, and then Cats was actually, I think, probably about my third or fourth audition
Mhm.
that I had been in the room for. But we graduated November, December of
Mm.
2016. And I booked Cats in about January of 2017.
There
So
you
it
go.
was
Yeah.
quite quick when I look at it now. But
Did you think you did well at that audition for Cats
I
when you
knew
walked
that
in?
I had kind of utilized all my skills
Mm.
and I was being seen for a lot of stuff. So I was running from room to room. They'd be like, great, cool. Can you go do a singing call? Great, cool.
Mhm.
Can you come back and do a tap call? Can you come back
Yeah.
in half an hour? Can you prepare this? Can you do that? So,
So very good sign that they wanna see
yeah,
you over and
yeah,
over again. Yeah.
yeah. And then back in, I think on the final callback day, I was there for about 6 hours,
Mm.
just running in and out, doing turns in second as Misto, and then running in and learning Rum Tum Tugger choreography. So,
The auditions for, stuff like My Fair Lady and The Bodyguard, how do you feel like those auditions went when you go into those rooms?
Um, My Fair Lady, I think I was a bit more suited to than The Bodyguard. So I think that in
Mhm.
that moment, when you first graduate from uni, you just want to go in for everything.
Mhm.
You want to be seen for everything. You just want to do a job. Um, Now I go in for things. I go, okay, do I want to do this job? Am I actually right for this job? Can I give it all of me as a performer? Whereas before, it's like I'll do anything. I'll be a bucket.
Do you sort of, when you finish those auditions, are you able to sort of let it go and you're like, "Okay, it is what it is. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't." Are you able to sort of let go of that feeling of like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I really hope I get it," or, "Oh, who cares?" Yeah.
I think I think it comes with time.
Mhm.
So for me, it used to be life or death. It really used to be the end of the world if I, had done a bad audition or I didn't get a call back or
Yeah.
anything. And now I go, oh,
Yeah.
it's not that I don't care. It's that everything happens
It's bec
for
yeah, it's
a
bec
reason,
yeah, yeah.
really.
And it's become, I guess, second nature now, right? Or
Yeah,
the audition process.
yeah.
Are you terrified when you go into those rooms?
It
Or were
kinda
you when you first
Yeah,
started
I
doing
mean,
it?
it
Yeah.
kinda depends on the day, so it's kind of
Mm,
like being in the now and being really, really present, I guess, but, um, now a lot of the time I've been lucky that when I'm auditioning for stuff, I'm on a job, but
mm,
that comes with its own, set of hardships, I guess.
yeah,
Because if you're going in at 9:30 AM on a Monday morning and you've just done an 8 or a 9 show week, you've had rehearsals as well, you might have been on for a cover for the whole weekend, and you've got to put your best self forward.
yeah,
It can be terrifying
yeah,
standing in front of a panel of 10
yeah.
and screaming at the top of your lungs at 10 in the morning.
Yeah. Some of the I think the best advice that an actor's probably given on this podcast is about auditions more specifically is that as actors, as performers, you don't know when the next job is going to come. So
Mm,
treat that audition process like, yes, I'm putting on a performance for these people. This is
mhm.
my only opportunity to perform in who knows how long. I think it's a great mentality to go
Yeah.
in with. So how does Cats go for you? I mean, that was a pretty long show, long running
Yeah.
show. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, getting to it was my dream show, it was my
Mm,
dream role, and I got to do it pretty
mm,
much straight out of uni.
yeah.
Um,
Were you in over your head or like
it
how were you
I
when you?
remember
Yeah.
my family came because it was the South
Mm-hmm.
Korean tour, so my family came to Korea to watch,
Mm,
and my mum asked, "Is it everything you wanted?" And I said, "And more," because it's so much harder than
mm,
I ever anticipated.
yeah.
Um, and I think that you learn way more on the job than you do
At uni.
at
Yeah.
uni.
Yeah.
Like,
Of course.
they kind of give you everything in a toolbox, and as you go into the professional world, you go, "Great, cool, I'm gonna use that hammer they gave me, I'm gonna use that spanner.
Mm,
Okay, that wrench doesn't work for me here." So,
yeah.
yeah,
Um, how was that first performance of
of
Cats?
cats.
Yeah.
Kinda
Yeah.
crazy because you're kind of leading like, at uni, you've only done, you know, a week of shows,
Mm,
and you've had maybe 4 weeks rehearsal on it or 10 weeks rehearsal if it was the mid-year, but
yeah.
for this, it was 4 weeks in, get it on
Mm,
stage, and, it was just you're in the costume, you're doing it, but then you realize you've got so long to go.
mhm.
We had 10 more months to go after, so
Yeah.
it was about learning how to pace yourself, but it
Yes.
was amazing, and to share it with
Mm,
everybody, um, fresh people, people who
mm.
had done it before, to be a part of a legacy like Cats
Yeah.
is amazing.
At what point during that run of Cats did you learn how to pace yourself?
Probably about 3 months in.
3 months? Yep.
Um, yeah, because 8 shows a week is
Mhm.
no joke,
It
and
is grueling.
especially,
Yeah.
yeah, when you have to rock up and paint your face as a cat. I mean, when you first start, it takes you about 2 hours to paint your
Yeah.
face, and then you've gotta warm
Yeah.
up, and then you've gotta make sure that it all stays on, but everything gets quicker, you learn your routine. It is, ritualistic,
Mm.
really.
Flash forward all these years
Mhm.
later, are you getting to that point quicker of knowing how to pace yourself
Oh,
for
yeah.
these shows? Yeah.
Yeah. I still think that it does take about 2 months to actually 2 to 3 months
Get into a
to
show.
really get
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, where I'm at now, covering 8 people at Moorman, it's taken,
Yeah.
yeah, a red hot minute, but
Mm.
feel really comfortable in everything now, which
Yeah.
is great.
How much can you really plan when you step into these shows?
Um,
Do you sit down with yourself and say, "You know what? I wanna go to the gym on this day. I wanna make sure I don't miss this," you know?
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, again, I think it's all just about seeing what you need on the day.
Mm,
Um, and it's having that check in kind of daily
mm,
because it's good to have the goals, but sometimes things change and, um, you don't have all that energy that you want to be able to go to the gym that day,
mm,
or again, you're on for a cover. So it's hard, or you have a rehearsal day, or yeah, again, it's about just being present to go, what do I need right now?
mm.
Which comes with doing the job for a while.
How long was the Cats run?
The Cats Run, the first time I did it, I think was a year.
Yeah.
And that was South Korea and Taiwan. We did about 14 different
Mm,
cities in Korea, and then we did 3 different cities in Taiwan.
mm.
Um, yeah, and then
Have you performed internationally since, in Asia?
yeah,
Yeah.
so I did, the we call it the COVID Cats Tour.
Mhm.
So when the rest of the world shut down at the start of 2020.
Which, by the way, I've talked to Ben Colley about this,
Yes.
and I don't think I talked too much to Taylor about this part, but yeah, I think for Ben, it was such an odd experience because
Yeah.
everyone here in Australia was locked down, but
Yeah.
you're going off to work while all your friends can't work.
Yeah. It was actually quite crazy
Yeah,
because we were in Brisbane doing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory at the time,
that's right. Yeah.
and we were auditioning for Moulin Rouge,
Mm,
West Side Story, Mormon, and Cats was auditioning. So we were in all these kind of like finals
mm,
and auditions and, watching the TV, and the world is shutting down. And to to then be all sent home 2 days later as well. I'd been on tour for 16 months. I didn't have a home to go to
brilliant.
really. So getting sent home, the world shut down. I think, well, we're all in this position together. And then I get a call from my agent saying, "Hey, Cats is still going ahead. They want you to just send some tapes to the new musical supervisor." And then a few days later, I got approved, and they were like, "Great, cool. You're going to head off in, I think it was June."
Yeah.
But by this point, it was March, April. So
How
yeah,
how long was that gap when you got sent home and then getting that
it
call
was a
saying
week.
a week?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's crazy.
Yeah, the world shut down, everything's, "Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, no more theater," and
yeah,
then, "Hey, you're gonna go to
yeah,
Korea in a few months, and
yeah,
you're gonna be,
yeah.
doing Cats for a year." We were signed up for a year.
How are those international audiences? How do they receive a show versus what we receive a show here over in
Yeah,
Australia?
in a place like Korea, they are so, uh, appreciative,
Mm,
and, they just love it. They really you feel a real respect for the arts
yeah,
over in somewhere like South Korea. Australia, you feel an energy for it, but we are a sporting nation.
mm.
So um, I feel
Yes.
like
Yeah,
Korea, they're on the edge of their seat.
yeah,
Internationally, they're on the edge of their seat. And then in Australia, it's kind of like a little bit sit back,
yeah,
impress me a
yeah.
little bit, entertain.
I think it was, oh, what was it? I think it was Miss Saigon or
Mm,
Sunset Boulevard. I think both those shows did Asian tours as
mm,
well. And of course, stage door is a little bit of a thing here in Australia, of course, but like they would get mobbed over
mm,
there and they would have sign-in tables as well out
yeah.
in the foyer as well. Did you get mobbed over there at the stage door or did you get set up with any
Um,
sign-in tables for people
well,
after the show?
the first time we did Cats,
Yeah.
we had the Cats super fans,
Mm,
and they'd be in the front row at pretty much every performance. They would travel kind of with us as we would go on tour, really, and say, "I'm going to be in this city on this day." They would draw pictures and bring uh, gifts and uh, like treats, like baked goods, to the stage door.
mm,
And again, just so appreciative that this show had come. So um, often when we're like signing programs now, ever since COVID, it's kind of like no sign programs backstage, and um, but mobbed, not as much. Yeah, it was
mm,
just like at the stage door.
yeah.
Hello.
So how long was that Asian run for Cats?
The Cats, the first time it was a
A
year, and
year,
then the COVID Cats tour, I think we were there for 10 months,
10
and
months.
we were meant to go and
Okay.
do Taiwan, but the Taiwan leg got cancelled
All right.
for the last part. And so then we all got sent home, and
So it got cut short. Okay.
yeah,
I didn't, I don't think I was aware of that. Yeah.
yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
And then by the time I came back, we were in for new auditions for
Mm.
new things. So
So it wasn't silence after that when you got back
no,
from
it was
Cats. Yeah.
come back, do a hotel quarantine,
Yeah.
and then
Mm.
go into auditions.
To the next thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's like, I think that's a good position to come back to, right? After doing, I mean, skipping all the lockdown stuff and all that sort of stuff to come back
yeah,
to have auditions as
yeah,
well, ready to go when you
yeah.
got back. It must have been, yeah, great position to be in.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, I have done hotel quarantine 5 times, so that's 5 times at 2 weeks each. So
Was it a
that's
week? Was it a week? You had to
two
stay
weeks
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
each
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, doing that 5 times was a lot. But
I imagine that I mean, as a performer
mm,
and you're so physical at what you were just doing in Cats, that must have driven you insane.
yeah, I think by
Yeah.
around the day 10 mark is the point where you go, okay, I need to get out of here. And because a lot of the
Yeah.
time, like, there was no window. Like, there was the glass, but
Mhm.
it wouldn't open,
Yeah.
so you're like, "I just wanna touch some grass, I just wanna
Mhm.
breathe the fresh air."
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So you're back in Australia auditioning. Was the next thing was it Mary Poppins?
I actually got a call when I was in hotel
Yeah.
quarantine to, be an emergency swing at American Psycho at the Opera House.
Right.
So it was very, like,
At the Opera House.
yeah.
Yeah.
So very kind of I think again it was around the day 10 mark. It was, "Hi, I see that you're back in Australia. Are you free?" And I said, "I've got another, 4 days in hotel quarantine, but yeah, I'm free." They're like, "Cool, can you learn 5 parts at American Psycho and just be ready to go on in case anyone goes down?"
How long did you have to learn those 5 parts?
I remember asking them and saying, "Okay, how long's the rehearsal?" And they say, "No, no, no, we're in tech right now."
Yeah, yeah.
So I kind of
Thrown into
crammed.
the deep.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
kinda
yeah, yeah.
crammed for 4
Mhm.
days, and then, Monique Saleh and I, who were these emergency covers, went in and rehearsed, like, without anybody else, just the dance captain and the resident director.
How does one work like that without
You just
the
get
rest
by,
of
you just
yeah,
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 you
yeah.
just kind of make
Mhm.
do, like,
Yeah.
because again, it was peak COVID, excuse me. Um, at the time, it was peak COVID, so, um, we had to stay away from the company. So they just put us on the set and said, "Great, cool. Do you know the lines? Can you just like jump in?" Mind you, it was a
Mhm.
mirrored revolving set at the time.
Right.
Hmm.
Was that the first time you performed at the Sydney Opera House as well?
Um, I actually used to do dance competitions at the Sydney Opera House,
Oh,
so in the concert
yeah.
hall. But
It must be another full circle moment there again.
yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, for Mon and I, we never had to go on, thank goodness. But uh, yeah, we were just thrown in the deep end and say, in the event of emergency.
When I mean, as a swing, of course, you have to learn multiple parts, but there may be a chance that you may never go on for any of those parts. Is that somewhat frustrating to sit around the theater and not do anything or not be called upon once to go on for these roles that you work so hard at?
I think if I was younger, it would have been,
Mm,
but I think now I put in the work kind of regardless. I mean, to get to go on is just a, hey, cool little cherry on top,
yeah.
but I'm pretty happy either way
Mm.
just to work on it. So,
When you do have to go on at a
mm,
moment's notice, are you ready to go typically? Like, I mean, I guess let's talk early on.
hmm.
Were you that first time you had to go on as a swing, were you ready for that moment?
So pretty much every show that I've done, I've been a cover on.
Mhm.
Um, and luckily enough, I have known what I'm doing and
Mhm.
I've been ready to go. Um, as a swing on Mormon going on for the first time. Nothing ever prepares you for really going on as a swing for the first time. Because as a cover, you have your cover calls.
Mhm.
You do your work and you go on.
You
Whereas,
should be prepared,
yeah,
of course, yeah.
because you maybe got your ensemble track and then
Mm,
you cover maybe 2 roles. As a swing, you're covering 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever it is. So you've kind of got your hands in
yeah.
all the pies, I guess. Um, Yeah, it's really exciting though.
So you're covering 8 roles
Mhm.
currently. What's the most amount of roles you've had to cover?
Probably this.
Yeah, probably 8, 8?
Yeah,
Was it? Yeah,
probably 8.
8, yeah.
Um, yeah, I think as we as we rehearse, because I think that's something that people forget is that we constantly rehearse.
Mm,
We have Wednesdays and Thursdays penciled in for cover calls and swing runs and, um, yeah, you're pretty
yeah.
much running around and playing, playing 7 or 8 people in
Mm.
one show run, to be honest.
That is a lot of information to carry around in
Mhm.
your head at any
Mhm.
given time. Is there any, I don't know, tricks of the trade that you can share with us that to keep all those roles straight in your head?
Um, for me, um, I have in my notes app, everything is done by emojis. So at the moment, if I'm in hello, um, or I'll take 2 by 2 actually, because that's got more in it.
Yeah.
Every landmark in the number, whether that's like, um, putt putt golfing or whatever, there's a line in the song. I'll know because I see the little putt putt symbol,
Yeah.
like the little golfing emoji.
Right.
So I'll know, okay, for Josh, I am on this number. For John, I'm on that number. But I see the emoji in my head and then I see the number next to it.
Yeah.
So I can just refer back to my
Yeah.
notes.
What like tricks have you seen others do? Like, or have you like tried to adopt this from someone else as well?
Yeah, as a swing, you kind of find your own
Mm.
way around it. Some people use cue cards, some people color code everything. Lots of people like videos or uh, photos. But for me, everything is just memory based.
Mm.
So anytime I go on, I kind of don't look at my notes. I say, well, if I
Mm.
don't know it now, I'm never going to know
Yeah.
it.
You have to I mean, in this line of work, you have to live a very structured day, right?
Yeah.
Doing like working in musical theater, have you become a more organized person in your personal life? Has it like provide you structure outside of the theater as well?
I think it's actually made me be a little bit more lax. I think because everything is so controlled
Mm.
within a musical, you show up at this time, the show starts at this time,
Mm.
you hit that number by this point, you sing that note at this point, you breathe at this point.
Yeah.
Um, I think that my days now, I try to have not as much structure so there is a freedom to it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that because of course like you live this very structured life like it is I guess would be a bit freeing to be out of that structure for a while.
Yeah.
I remember I was talking to Noah Mullins on the
Mm,
podcast last year. Um and like of course like when you're in that world everything is taken care of for you. You're told when to show up, you know, what time you're getting picked up from the airport or whatever. Like
mm.
the show starts at this time. But when you're outside of that, it must be such a shock to the system at first,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what when you like get off a contract, like
Mm.
when you're in a period of time when you're not working, like how do you I mean, is it a shock to the system at first?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've kind of been really, really fortunate in my career to have had done back
Mm.
to back work, which in itself is exhausting. I had a mate in the industry who said this will keep going unless you take,
Unless you take the break.
yeah,
Yeah.
unless you take a break. So when I auditioned for Moorman, I was about to finish Chicago, and I knew that we were auditioning a year out, so I had about, I think it was 8 months to wait. And in that time, I just went, I'm going to stop for 8 months.
You know you have something coming down the
Yeah.
pipeline.
So it was really nice to know that I had something coming. But in that downtime, I just went, I just want to travel. I just want to see my mates. I just want to,
Live a life
yeah, live a
of
life.
yeah,
Because again, going for 8 years kind of nonstop. And even with,
8 years.
yeah, even with
Yeah.
COVID cats,
Mhm.
like doing that and then coming back and going straight into Psycho. And
Mm.
then um, we went into Charlie and the Chocolate Factory again. And then I went straight from that into Cats again, into Mary
Mm.
Poppins after that. Like it just kept going, 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 going. So actually having the time to go, oh, I'm going to live a life for a minute before Mormon starts was, yeah,
Was that the first time you actually said that to yourself? Like, "I need to find the time to take a break here?"
yeah, which
Yeah.
was is a really
Mm.
privileged position to be in.
Yeah.
Um, I'm so grateful for everything that has come to me, but yeah, it was the first time I went, okay,
Mm.
yep,
Was there perhaps, like, maybe a fear of, like, "Well, yeah, I've gotta keep working
mm,
because, like, I don't know when I'll
yeah,
work again," like but also you must have, like, a little bit of an inkling thinking, "You know what? It would be nice to have, like, a nice proper week
yeah,
off."
it'd be
Yeah.
nice to go
Yeah.
to dinner,
Yeah.
to have a
Catch
weekend.
up with friends. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, to
Mm.
be able to, go to a wedding
Mm.
and not have to worry about
Or how
catching it.
many weddings and
Yeah,
things like that do you miss? Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
to be able to, uh, not have to worry about singing a top B the next day, or strapping in to be a cat for 3 hours. Um, yeah, it was great. That being said, though, the day after I got back and said, "That's it, I'm just gonna take a breather," I was in a foyer watching a friend's show, and a producer said, "Hi, I know that you've just finished Chicago, but we've had someone pull out of this um, gig. Can you do it for a week?" And I just said, "Yeah, I mean that's fine." and then
Mm.
I had the best time on that.
Yeah.
So I think that being available for things as well
Yeah.
um, was also nice. So I did another couple of shows because I was able to in that time, just short little stints, but and then they were really impactful um, for my well-being, I think.
Are there any bad habits that you have as a performer that you may have had when you were younger that maybe you've managed to get your way out of that you may fall into those bad habits again every once in a while?
I think that confidence is actually something that I've struggled with. And when I was younger, there was kind of this fearlessness.
Mm.
But by the time you get to high school, um,
That's confidence is stripped away,
a
of
little,
course.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So I was the boy that would sing everywhere and dance everywhere, and then slowly but surely, you
Becoming
know,
a little bit more reserved.
yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit more
Mhm.
reserved or mindful of,
Yeah.
not being too loud or um, being in other people's space. So I think that having the confidence now, I had to kind of
Mm.
refine my confidence um, through performing.
Yeah. So when did you find that confidence again?
I think it's ongoing because like there's
Yeah.
still that feeling of um, not working hard enough or
Mm.
being not being good enough. That kind of imposter syndrome as well of like,
So that voice is still
yeah, it's
in
still
there somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's also realizing that it's not ever really going to go away, but how do you manage it
Mm.
kind of all the time?
Are there people around you that sort of recognize that and try to pull you out of that mindset every once in a while?
Yeah, I mean, like having your support network
Mm.
of people that you can call. So, um, my best mates in the industry, I'm talking to every other day.
Mm.
Just we're bouncing off each other, and we'll all lift each other up. But I think that that's one of the reasons that I do it is because we all do lift each other up.
Mm.
Um, whatever show you're on, it's a community. Takes a village. Every
Mm.
department. That's why I love it. It's the community.
Have you ever stepped foot into a show and then maybe thought to yourself, "Am I cut out for this show? Like, did I make the wrong decision? Did they make the wrong decision?" Like, does that thought ever crop up in your head?
I don't think it's necessarily the thing of, um, did I make the wrong decision? Did they make the wrong decision? Um, I think it's just, again, how you navigate the length
Mm.
of it, or how much energy you're putting into it. Because when it does kind of take over your life a little bit, um, that's where you need to be aware to go, no, like
It's
everything's okay,
yeah.
everything's good, everything's fine, and I'm where I'm meant to be.
It's very tricky when it becomes like an all-consuming
Yeah.
thing, right? It's all you can think about.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so Chicago, apologies, I'm starting to lose my voice already, and
Me
it's only
too.
the second episode, so give me just a moment. Okay, Chicago
Yeah.
had some heavyweights in that show:
Yeah.
Anthony Warlow, Lucy Maunder,
Hmm.
Pete Rowsthorn
Yes.
as well, comedy legend Pete
Yeah.
Rowsthorn. It's not,
Love Pete.
yeah. Um, Talk to me about meeting some of those like incredible people because
Yeah.
any Pete stories?
um, I feel like there are some Pete stories that I probably can't share.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One of them though is he
Mm.
knows within the first few days of rehearsal, I'm a really big Kath and Kim fan.
Yes.
So I did go up to him and I said, "Hey, I'm a really big Kath and Kim fan. If you don't want me to talk about it, it's
Yeah.
fine." He said, "Nah, nah, love it, love it." We got to Perth and he's from WA.
Yeah.
So we were in tech rehearsals and Chicago is actually like quite a um, hard show when you're like,
Yeah.
you've just got to really like focus in on all of the choreography. And anyway, Pete came up to me in a tech rehearsal and he said, "Oh, I've got something for you." And I just said, "Oh, what?" He said, I was looking through my shed and I found this and it's just like a little Kim on a keychain, like an old Kath and Kim keychain. He said, "And I thought of you and I thought that you would want it." So that's the kind of person Pete
Great.
is.
Great.
Yeah. Um,
That's special there.
yeah. So I got a Kimmy from
Yeah.
Freddie. It
I was
was,
so impressed with Pete's
I
performance
know,
in
he's just the
Chicago. I mean, it's
best.
such a small role, but like when he's on, he was on. Like he was
Yeah.
brilliant in Chicago, as
Yeah.
was everyone.
Yeah.
Is it? it must be intimidating meeting those types of people, like Anthony and Lucy, who have been in the business
Yeah.
for quite a long
I
time.
mean, Lucy and I had actually worked together
Of
for
course,
about
Mary Poppins,
and
yeah.
Mary Poppins and
Mhm.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So
Oh,
I
Charlie and
think it
Choc
had been
great
about
shows, yeah.
I wanna say it had been, like, 7 years,
Mm,
almost back to back,
mm,
really, that we worked together. So, in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, we actually got to do part of, like, a dance together
mm,
as Mr. and Mrs. Bucket.
great. Yeah.
So husband and wife. Um, Luce is also just the best
Mm,
and, someone I really treasure and love. So, um, Anthony Warlow, though, I saw as the Phantom when
mhm.
I was, oh, I wanna say in year 7 or year 9. I'm trying to remember, but, um, he's just incredible, and the voice and, the acting and, yeah, absolute star.
He would yeah, he would strike me as a quite intimidating person to meet
No,
over to meet.
he's honestly just a ham.
Yeah.
He's so
Mm,
funny and um warm, and any question that I would have about, I'm someone who loves hearing other people's theater stories,
mm,
so I would ask him about what was it like working on, the original Australian Les Mis or Phantom. If I had a question about singing a song, he would give me tips and
mm.
pointers, and yeah, a
Do you
real legend.
Are you proactive in doing that when you're on shows to go to those people who have done a million shows and just ask questions, or
Yeah.
did it take you a while to summon up the courage to do that?
Sometimes it does take,
Yeah.
um, a bit of courage to be
Mhm,
able to do it, but,
mhm.
I think the world of these people within the community, so I wanna know their stories. Um, yeah, I just wanna hear about them and how they went through things, so, yeah.
What's the biggest takeaway you think that you've got from one of these people?
Oh gosh,
Something you've been able to actually apply to, a job you're in
I
now?
think so on my first job of Cats, my Gus the theatre cat, Ian John Borg, who was, uh a Phantom of the Opera in Germany and Vegas, and he's done it everywhere, and, incredible, incredible performer. Um, he came up to me as we were rehearsing, he was like, "You just need to trust yourself." And I was just like, "Yeah, okay." And he was like, "No, no, no. You're really fantastic, and you've done the work, you just need to trust yourself." And just hearing that from this person who I would watch and respected so much, that's always stuck with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that play, like, in your mind sometimes when you're
Still, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's great. Like, do you think you've imparted any wisdom to people that you may have worked with?
I think now being in the industry
Yeah,
for
because 'cause
like
you've been in the
yeah, for
industry for
like
quite a long
10
time now.
years, I feel like a bit of a big brother
Mm,
to, uh, people that I work with now. Um, so yeah, it's just nice to, again, lift each other up.
yeah,
So if I see someone who's, 20 and on their first job out of drama school and they're maybe struggling a bit with the
mm,
8-show week or nerves or whatever it is, I go, it's fine and you'll figure it out, and we all, again, lift each other up
mm.
together. So
Do you have any, superstitions or anything, like, backstage before you go on to a performance? Is there something you have to do before you go onto stage?
I mean, on Mormon at the moment, I have to look at my name badge and I have to say it 3 times before I walk out.
Mm,
Because there are just so many names in my head.
yeah,
Um, Little bits like that. But I also try to now not get into too many, like, routine things.
mhm,
Um, it used to be on my first jobs, I would have to tap people twice or high five people here
mhm.
or, um, yeah.
Um Like, there's a lot of social media posts I see from, Mormon, like people who work on Mormon and other shows as well, and it looks like you have quite a lot of fun
Mm,
backstage. Are there moments where you have to remind each other, "You know what? Maybe we're having a bit too much fun. Maybe we should actually zone in here and
yeah.
remember that we've got a job to do as well?"
It was actually Mary Poppins that was the show. We would
Yeah.
just laugh and
Mm,
do bits backstage, and we had so many costume changes in that show. And it was, it was all lace up boots and three-piece suits. Like, so you'd have time to come off from a number where you've gone 0 to 100, and then you're quick changing and you're
Yeah.
saying things, and then you realize by the end of this 3-hour show, why am I so tired? I'm like,
Yeah.
because I've had the best time with my mates.
Mm.
Um, yeah, this one is very much you're getting in your costume and you have a giggle. You have a giggle, but you have to save some of that energy for the stage as well
Yeah.
because it's so high octane.
You mentioned quick changes there. I've actually never, I don't think I've brought up this question on the podcast before, but quick changes, like they
Mm.
impress me a lot.
So they should.
What is the quickest quick change that you've had to do?
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of all of them. It's any of the ones that are like, oh, it was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
I ran off as a giant squirrel
Mm-hmm.
and I had to get straight back
Great.
into an Oompa Loompa to walk straight back out on stage. So I
Yeah.
think it was probably about 40 seconds, 45 seconds.
And
Yeah.
what people don't know is there's a team of people helping you out of those
Yeah. Yeah.
costumes and
Yeah.
dressing you back into
Yeah.
an Oompa Loompa.
Yeah, exactly. It's and that's like you're hopping out of this
Yeah.
massive squirrel costume with a
Mm.
tail and a hat with eyes in it, and then you've got to change into another. There's a wig person, there's 2 dresses, there's
Mm.
everything. Also, you're doing this in the dark as well, side stage.
I
Side
think
stage
it
in the
would
dark.
be so fascinating to put a camera backstage and gain like, of course, like there's quick changes on social media and that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. But I would love to just see like, okay, we see the musical in full. I want to see
Mhm.
the behind the backstage in
Yeah.
full as
Yeah.
well. It would just be so fascinating to put a camera back there. I think.
Yeah, it's wild.
Have you ever missed a cue?
There have been moments I think swinging is a humbling experience as well
Mm.
because, there are so many things going through your
Yeah.
head and, um, there have been moments where I am listening out for one thing and I forget another thing or I step on the wrong foot and I
Mm.
go, "Okay, we gotta keep moving, gotta keep moving."
Yeah.
So, that's the thing, the musical
Yeah.
just goes so every musical goes so fast.
You have no choice but to
You're on a
keep.
roller coaster and it keeps going.
Have you frozen on stage before, or has that moment ever happened where you're like, "God, like, what am I doing right now?"
There
Yeah.
have been moments where, like, you're on top of a car boot as Skimble Shanks and you think, "Oh my gosh, what are the next words?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that number for me was 5.5 minutes of patter singing and running around and jumping up and down. So
Mm.
getting up there and going, "Oh, what are the words?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kinda scary.
You said that, confidence is one of those things that you have to, work on at the moment. Is there anything else that, like, you're sort of any elements of performing, I suppose, that you're sort of not entirely happy with that you're telling yourself, "I need to improve in this area here."
I do think that I'm someone who loves mindset books and, uh it really is about finding those kind of affirming things to get you through each day. So mindfulness, I find, is the main thing that's helping me with performing at the
Mm.
moment. Yeah.
So where are you with that then? I guess mindfulness. Like, what are you telling yourself each day with this?
I mean, it is that thing of you create more of what you focus on.
Yeah.
So if I'm rocking up every day and I'm tired and I'm telling myself I'm tired and oh, this is going to take so much or I'm in a bad mood, like of course I'm going to be tired and I'm going to
Hmm.
be in a
Yeah.
bad mood. And whereas if I actually impart to myself and I go, no, I'm grateful I've got the energy that I'm in a job that gives me the energy
Mm.
to be excited and be happy and be grateful and be surrounded by other
Yeah.
like-minded people. Um,
I'm in a show at the moment. It's not
yeah,
going to be cancelled anytime
yeah.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and, I mean, the material we're working on is fun and, um, the people, like, again, I keep coming back to community, but
Mm.
the people that you work with in theater,
Mm.
you really love to be there, like,
Mm.
you have to love to be there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When you, get into a space for the very first time, is there, I mean, have you ever had that feeling of like, oh, how am I going to gel with these people?
I think there's always those nerves on the first
Mm.
day.
Yeah.
I also think that when the cast announcement comes out, you kind of suss everyone out and you think, oh, who do I know here?
Mm.
Or have I worked with that person before? Or what's the one degree of separation um, from that person? I think you do. wonder about it, but everybody finds their feet,
Mm,
and you find your people as you go on in a show as well.
mm.
Yeah.
You've, covered a lead role
Mhm.
now. Um, when you I mean, of course, in Cats, as you mentioned,
Mm.
before we started recording, that was, that was a featured role that you
Yeah.
had in Cats, but, I mean, now what you're doing now, Mormon's a little bit different,
Mm.
right? I mean, it's a featured character with a
Yeah.
proper narrative, right?
Yeah, there's a
Throughout
lot of there's a lot of
there's a
lines.
lot of lines, there's a lot of, I mean, Cats is, like, not entirely a structured show, but but, there's a whole plot going on, right, with Mormon.
Yeah.
Um, now that you've stepped in and you've covered
Yeah.
Cunningham, is there a part of you now I mean, you've swung a lot, you've been a member of the ensemble.
Mhm.
Do you wanna lead a company? Like, is that, like, in Hayden's future to maybe one day I wanna be a lead character, like, and not
I
cover all these 8 different roles?
I'm actually in the state. I think I'm a bit of a swing convert. Like,
Mhm.
I really love the change up
Mm,
in playing all of these different parts. Um, I think the pressure of just playing one sometimes can get to you.
mm.
I also take my hat off to the people who do lead these companies because it is incredibly difficult. Like, it is a marathon to
Yes.
get through. And, these these people who play Elder Price or play Alphaba or whatever it is, it's huge. You give up
Mm,
this kind of a part of yourself to do this job.
yeah,
Um, Whereas I find that in the ensemble, it's fun and again
yeah,
communal and swinging especially.
mm.
I love being able to play all of the different parts. So,
Is the comedy for you, is that a fun thing to
oh
play?
yeah.
Are you trying to seek out more I mean, is comedy something you wanna seek out more of as well?
Um, I think within this kind of work,
Mm,
comedy, musical
mm,
comedy is what I
yeah,
love.
mm.
Um, I don't think I would do too well on a show like Les Mis. Um, just a little bit too sad, or even something like Miss Saigon. Love
Mm.
Miss Saigon, love Les Mis, which is quite heavy. So I'm very happy in a happy show.
Do you, I mean, because of that, do the auditions that you go on or the, shows that your agent
Yeah,
sends you, do they know that about you? Like, that you prefer a light show?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, it's been 10 years of high energy,
Mhm.
dancing and high singing.
Mm.
So I think I've kind of found my niche, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, how far into the future are you looking? Are you just taking it one day at a time sort of thing, or do you have, like, a plan
Yeah.
at all?
I think it's really kind of hard to plan
Mm.
anything, especially in Australia, because you try to fit yourself into whatever is
Mhm.
coming. Um,
You don't know necessarily
yeah.
what is coming from yeah.
Yeah. I think also when I first graduated, my ambition outweighed my satisfaction.
Mm.
Um, so I was kind of looking too far ahead, and then that was making me a little bit stressed and actually probably making me not see everything I had in front of me at the time.
Mhm.
I still enjoyed my time on my first jobs, like it was really amazing. But I think that if I could go back and tell myself something, then it's like really enjoy where you are because it will just keep going. Um, yeah, so now I just go, I'm here in the now and in the present, and yeah, really satisfied with where I'm at, and
Mm.
it'll just keep going.
Um, something I loved, um, from you last year is I mean, you've done these massive shows for years now, but you sort of had a break from that and you did a show with Trevor
I
Ashley
did, yes.
and former guest of this podcast as well, Alex Given came over from
Yeah,
the UK
Gibby.
as well to do the show. How was, I mean, that break from like, okay, I go to like go from like a large scale show
Yeah.
to this sort of smaller, fun cabaret type show?
It was so soul enriching.
Mhm.
Um, and I had done 2 neglected musicals for Michelle Guthrie before that, which is
Right.
basically you have 1 day of rehearsal, you have a day to kind of consolidate, and then you put on shows for the rest of the week.
That's right, yeah.
So with that, going into Trevor Ashley's production, We had 3 days rehearsal. We had 3 days rehearsal for a 2-hour
Yeah.
pantomime.
Yeah.
Um, Trevor had sent us a video, he'd sent us a script. Very late, I must say,
Was it a
Trev.
loose script or?
No, no, the script was all kind of set, but also it was very, uh Trev kind of explained it like, you do these massive shows where everything is so set.
Mm.
He said, "I want you to be able to, make choices. I want you to be able to muck up." Like,
That must
just
have been so
have fun.
freeing as
It
well,
really,
yeah.
really was, and it was actually one of my favorite things that I've
Yeah,
ever done. Because he just said it should be fun.
yeah.
Everything should be fun, and it was.
So you were able to improvise somewhat, with Trevor's show?
I feel like Trev was able to improvise, a lot more than we were. We were kind
Yeah.
of we were the structure that was
Mhm.
holding it together.
Mm.
But if we dropped a line or forgot something,
Yeah.
it didn't matter. We could riff on it,
Mm.
or if we broke on stage, which was constantly
Yeah.
happening. Yeah.
Are you I mean, all these shows that you've been in, right? It there isn't much room
Mm,
to improvise at all, right? It
mm,
has to be a set thing, right?
yeah,
Like, even with Book of Mormon now,
yeah,
it has to look like what New York the show in New York looks like. It has
yeah,
to look like what the show in, the West End looks like as well. So, there's no room to sort of improvise or, throw out new ideas or anything like that.
yeah.
I mean, has there been any shows that you've done throughout the years that you have been able to, like, put any input in at all, or is it kind of a little bit frustrating that you can't do that a little bit more?
I think no matter what you do as a performer, it's always going to be different to
Mm,
what has been done before
mm,
because you yourself are an individual person and um, they can direct you in the same way and say, okay, on Broadway it was like this, but like you could do
mm,
it like this. Um, uh, Sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating if it's, I think we call it like cookie cutter shows or
mhm,
paint by numbers shows.
mhm.
You do feel like the creativity kind of goes away, but it is how you individually interpret the direction, and a good director will steer you in the right way. So I do feel like it's creatively fulfilling.
Um, we've mentioned Morgan Palmer a
Mm,
few times now. Morgan will be here for the comedy festival actually really soon
yes,
with his own cabaret show.
yes.
Seeing, someone like Morgan do that, go off and write his own
Mm.
cabaret show, does that inspire something in you? Like, oh, maybe I could probably write my own show as well.
I think I'm someone who has kind of made my bread and butter in revivals
Mhm.
of shows,
Mm.
um, because I have that love for it. And I find my creativity through that interpretation. Um, to see Morgan do so well in writing his own show, it is inspiring.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have the skill to be able to do it. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's inspiring to see. So who knows?
Have you, tried to write any of your own stuff at any point?
There are a few times at uni where like you have to do something for an
Yeah.
assessment and
Mm.
it wasn't
Yeah.
for me.
Mm.
But I actually think that Morgan started his cabaret at uni
Oh,
from memory. Yeah, I
oh,
think
okay,
I
so this
remember
was a
seeing it
long
at
long
yeah.
gestating thing. Yeah, right.
But same thing, one of my mates, Jens Rada,
Mm.
um, has been is a drag performer now and started pretty much the show that he has going around at the moment started initially at WAAPA in a very different
So
way.
that's incredible that something could
Yeah.
start that early, like,
Yeah.
and now you can actually stage.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen Morgan? Have you had a chance to
I
see Morgan's
haven't
cabaret show?
actually yet, so I'll
Yeah,
have to see it when he's
yeah.
here.
I mean, we were talking before we started today that it's very hard to, go off and see mates when you're in a show.
Yeah.
I mean, how many shows are you missing out on? How many shows do you wish you could, like, go and see right now?
Well, I mean, we are on 6 days a week,
Mhm.
so to be able to go and see something, you have to go and see a matinee.
Mm,
I kind of jump at the opportunity any chance I get. So I was lucky enough to see Back to the Future when it was in
mhm,
Sydney, and it was absolutely incredible. Um, uh, Saw Anastasia a few
mm.
weeks ago, um, again for a matinee. But the thing is, then you have to run and you've got to go and do your show. So
Yeah.
you say a quick congrats, and
Mhm.
but it again enriches your soul to see your mates doing well
Yeah.
and yeah, to see a part of the industry.
When you I mean, it's a question I put to a lot of comedians too when
Mm.
they go off and see other, stand-up shows. When you had that opportunity to go and see a musical, are you able to just, go in and enjoy it, or are you watching it on another level as a performer as well? Not critiquing it, but saying, "Oh, that's interesting how they that." Are you able to truly enjoy it is, I guess, the question there.
I think again, it depends where you are on the day. Like
Mm,
some days, if I think as an audience member, you have to go in and you have to be on the journey with them.
mm,
Um, so I always go in with I'm here to support, I'm here to be on this journey. Sometimes it is hard to switch off the analytical brain,
yes.
um, but more often than not, I look at the people up there doing, an incredible job, and I go, "Wow, look at them go."
Mm,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Um, Start to wrap up shortly. It's been incredible having you on.
thank you.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been a year and a half
I
since you first
know,
asked me that. It's
I
been quite
know.
a long
Thank you so
time.
much for having me.
Yeah. So I guess with Mormon, it's a very fulfilling job.
Yeah.
How do you feel like when that show finally ends? Like, I mean, I guess we touched on it a little bit earlier on, but what is day one like post show for you, typically?
Day one post show,
Yeah, day
like
one
after a
post. Yeah,
tour.
like after a tour ends, I mean, you've just been through a grueling schedule. Like,
Mm.
what is day one post show like for you?
It is a sense of like there's an exhalation about it.
Mm,
There's a oh,
yeah.
but then you think, oh, I kind of don't have anywhere
Mm,
to be.
yeah.
Um, but I also find that there's a little bit of like excitement in that.
Mm,
So yeah, it's like it's bittersweet, but it's more exciting because you look at the entire journey that you've just had.
how do you feel on those final days or the final day of
Mm.
of the show? Like, do you get emotional? Like, how do you
Yeah,
feel on stage?
I used to get really emotional, and then I
Mm,
kind of have returned to things like I went back to Cats,
mhm,
and I went back to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, um, and I kind of realized like, oh, this is again it's always gonna be available. This
mhm.
feeling is always gonna be available
Yes.
wherever you are. There you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, when you look back on, the career that you've had so far,
Mm.
has there been a conversation along the way that has been impactful to you, but you didn't realize it at the time that it was impactful to you? Like, it's only in retrospect you can look back and think, "Oh, if I didn't have that conversation with that person, then a domino effect of other things wouldn't have happened in my life."
I think that the conversation I had with my director for the Gruffalo tour, um, Liesl Jones,
Mhm.
was she said it was a cast of three, and she said, "I've never worked with you before. How do you work?" And I had kind of not really been asked that before, and I went, "Oh, I'm gonna need a bit of time.
Mm,
I'm gonna need trust that I'll get there. I just need your trust." And she went, "Perfect, great. Got time and we've got trust." And going on every job that I've had a really amazing time on, I've kind of taken the initiative to go, "Hey, we've not worked together before, but this is how I work.
mhm,
This is what I'm going to need to do my best,
mhm.
so we can work in the best way together." So I think that that was probably the most influential one.
Great.
Yeah.
One last question.
hmm
That's the question I always end on. What are the words of wisdom you live by?
The words of wisdom I live by are you create more of what you focus on.
Mhm,
So um, showing up with an attitude of gratitude, um, being having a cheery disposition, being happy to be there, easy to work with. Um, yeah, you
mhm.
create more of what you focus on.
Thank you so much for being on
Thank
the
you so
podcast
much.
today. Before we wrap up finally,
Mm.
like where can people find you? How can people follow you on social
You
media?
can find me on Instagram at
Yeah.
Hayden I Baum.
Mhm.
Uh, that's basically it. I
Yeah.
don't really have TikTok or
Yeah.
anything, feel like I'm getting a little bit old, to be honest.
I only
Um,
just signed up with TikTok, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel
Oh,
like
great. Maybe I have to get into it now.
Hayden, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank
I really
you.
do
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much.
Thank you.